All right, yo. This is DJ Brainstorm on the mic with you now, coming to you live with DMST Conversations. The podcast, hell, it is. It's been the podcast for a while now. Back with Eulise. What's going on? How you feeling this week?
Man, you already know I'm blessed, healthy, and wealthy per usual. Feeling good, feeling great, feeling great, feeling good. How are you?
I'm doing good. I can't complain. Can't complain at all. So what's been up?
Yeah,
It's been a,
man.
it's been a it's been a week and a half. So we closed the gap this time. It's only been a week and a half this time. But what's been up? What's been up? I know you had a show or something, right?
Yeah,
Didn't
yeah,
you have a
yeah. I
show
had a
on Sunday
show
or Monday?
at Nouveau off of East Ninth by the pier. And they did it at the rooftop. It was really nice or whatever. It was
It's
fun.
nice in there. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Shout out to Big I can't say Big Rich, but he is Big Rich. It's two Big Riches in Cleveland. I'm sorry. The white one.
Hmm.
It's a black one, it's the white one.
Okay.
And then I got a show this Friday coming up in Garfield, and then I got a show next Thursday with Ramon Rivas at Superior Foe. So I'm getting back out there. You know what I'm saying? Like I just got told by a comic. He was like, I really wanted to put you on a show initially, but I know you was going through a lot that I didn't know where you was. You know what I'm saying, with everything. And I'm like, man, look, I still got bills.
Hmm.
Mama still got to make paper. So if you paying, trust me,
I'll be
I'm gonna
there.
wipe them
Yeah.
tears and hit that mic.
Yeah. Yeah. Everybody got bills to pay.
hmm
But yeah,
Sure.
yeah,
What's
yeah.
going on with you? You still doing your 1-2 on the 1-2s?
Same old, same old. I mean, honestly, it's same story. I mean, same story every week. It's my life is so simple, and I love it for that fact that in
hmm
that respect, I don't have to do anything crazy weekly or anything like that. It's just I do what I need to do. I wake up, I do my job. People don't bother me much at work. I do my little side stuff, and that's it. It's simple. But yeah, so
And it's
that's
crazy
all.
because most of your stuff all in proximity. Like you ain't got to go far
I don't have to
out
go
or
far. Mm-mm.
yeah,
Other than the private parties I get booked for, sometimes I have
for
to
sure.
travel further for those. But outside of that, nope, nope. I mean, one is they both within 15 minutes. Both my weekly ones are within 15 minutes of where I stay. So, but that's pretty much been it. I think was that last? I don't even know if that was last weekend when my in-laws were here. Every weekend just kind of run together right now. Um, yeah, that might have been 2 weeks ago when they were here. So yeah, it really ain't nothing really been happening too much.
And it's so crazy because you say like everything run together. I mean, like I feel like we just was opening up Christmas gifts and it's August.
A week into August at that. More than a week into August at that.
Like we almost like football season.
Oh yeah, which a lot of people can't wait for. I mean,
hmm
honestly, I can't wait either. I'm going to an Ohio State game in early September. So I'm
I want to
supposed to
go
be
to a
going to.
tailgate. I've been saying this for the longest or whatever. I want to go to a tailgate for the Browns, and every time it's always something that comes up, whatever. But this year I'm gonna try to get there like literally like the first one or first two, like probably the first one because that's usually when everybody come out. And the
Yeah,
weather is still good and everything like that or whatever. So I'm
and
gonna
the
make
good
it
thing
out
for
there.
them is it's their first home game, regular season game. It's not until week 3, so it'll be at the closer to the end of September when they have their
Mm-hmm.
first home game. I mean, hopefully they not 0-2 when they had their first home game, but it's
Get
an
off my Browns,
experience.
bro. Get
No,
off
no,
my
hey,
Browns.
come on now.
We
I'm a
going to
Browns
the
fan.
shit. We going to the shit.
I mean, I'm a Browns fan through and through, but it's just um, tailgating is an experience. It's one of
hmm
those things that I've only done it before a game myself once, like with the people I knew. Now, when I go to a game, I usually get there early enough to kind of walk through the lots and just see what people are doing. I usually run into somebody I know. If I've done it 10 times, I run into somebody I know 7 or 8 times out of 10. Just walking through the Muni lot and everybody that's tailgating there. It's an experience. It's fun. It's not it's not the way it used to be back in the day. It's just everything changes at time. It's a lot more younger people now because the generations kind of flip over.
hmm
But like if you walk through that Muni lot right now, I mean you still got the old people, not the old people, like the old heads that's been doing it for years there. They have places in that lot where you can't go there. That's their spots. They've been going
hmm
there for 30 years, 40 years, 50 years. That's
hmm
their spots. But it's a lot. Like it's a ton of people. Hell, it's a lot of people that just go down for the experience of tailgating. I don't ever really want to go down just to tailgate and then leave and have to go watch the game because
hmm
I want to see the game. But some people don't really care about the game as much. And so if you want to do that, you will have fun. trust me, you'll have fun just hanging out, and especially in the muni lot. Just hang out, walk through, hopefully see somebody you know, and grab food and all those types of things. It's a crazy experience. I mean,
I
the
promise you,
one.
I love the football season because of the food.
Uh,
Like I ain't gonna hold you. My one friend, she has the fucking Super Bowl of all Super Bowl parties at her house every year. And when I tell you, I've never in my entire existence been to a Super Bowl party like this. I'm talking about she legit changes the menu with the quarter.
Oh yeah, that's too
Like
much.
I was fixing my food and they was moving everything. I said, what's she's like, oh yeah, it's the fourth quarter, so we gonna put this. I'm like, who you know? I mean, and then has a big ass cake as if it's somebody's birthday. Like when I tell you they go all out, they go all out. And
Yeah, that wouldn't even bother me. I see. I'm not a Super Bowl person, like a Super Bowl
mhm,
party person. I'm a
yeah,
because I want to watch the game, so it's too much stuff going on with the Super Bowl parties. I've done that already. Yeah,
let me tell you this though. Her husband is exactly like you. So all of the, I guess, fraternizing goes on upstairs,
and the
and
game got to be
then
watched
the
downstairs.
people who are like seriously like into the game are downstairs.
Yeah, that's how it's got to. It's got to be something like that because I can't do it. That's why whenever it's a big game, 9 times out of 10, I'm not going to be at somebody's house, or it ain't going to be many people at my house. If it's a big game, no matter what, because it's just people get to talking about other stuff, and there's so much other stuff going on that you just
Hmm.
not paying it. Oh, you missed something. Yeah, that's why it was so odd that I watched. 10 years ago, I watched Game 7 for the Cavs at my
Uh-huh.
brother's house, and there were people there. But that one was different because it was like if we
Which brother?
won, but both my brothers. Well, actually, I went to my older brother's house
Okay.
that day. My
You know
younger
you
brother was
fall in
at
the
his.
middle, so I'm like, I don't know if it's the
Yeah,
other or the younger
yeah.
brother.
My younger brother actually was at his in-laws' house that day. But it's like it
Hmm.
was one of those things where if they won that night and won a championship, I couldn't have imagined being at home alone. If because I talked to
Yeah.
Dev about it, re-recorded that episode about looking back on that 10 years ago, and he was married with a family. So if they would have won a championship, you still got your family right there to have fun with a hug and high five and all that stuff. If they had won it and I'm sitting in my apartment, I'd have been going crazy, and then I would have been grabbing my shoes to throw on to go
To
drive
go?
to people's house
Yeah.
to go have fun. So I was just like, yeah, I want to watch it at my brother's house that day. But more times than not, if it's a big game, yeah, I'm really not planning on
But
having
Brainstorm, you
people over.
also are very simple because even when we went to Houston, everybody kicking it and this and this and that, whatever. You pretty much like when we had went to the meet and greet or whatever the first night, you had your drink, you off to the side, people coming up to you, talking to you, but then you hey, I'm in the building, y'all see me.
No, it was hot in that place too. I remember that.
It was.
It was a nice little spot that Paco had found, but it was a really really hot place. Houston's hot in the
And then
summer.
when we did the apartment party, you was on the space table.
No, no, Dev and Playboy was on the space table. I was just chilling. I was upstairs on the roof with the knights
Oh
and,
yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
other
You
people.
right,
I
you
was
right, you
smoking
right, you right,
cigars and
you right.
stuff and all that type of and all that and then you did comedy out there that night.
That was
And
fun.
all those types of things. Yeah, man. It was just it was Paco did his thing on
Paco,
that one.
bring back smoke free weekend. We need to go out of town.
Pa- Paco out the game now. He
I
out the game.
know.
He out the game. But yeah, he did this. He did a good job with that weekend. I can't even lie. I can't even lie.
I'm telling you, like the vibe that DMST is, we can't keep it to Cleveland. So we'll talk offline, but it's some things that people have been looking at through my page and my account, whatever they said. It's like, hey, when is the next pot of R&B? I get that asked all the time. Everybody always asks me about pot of R&B all
Hmm.
the time.
Still, I mean, it ain't going nowhere. Um, I say it all the time. We talk about it off camera a lot, and I know I'll talk about it with Playboy too. I mean, we could schedule one for a month and a half from now or a month from now, and we'll get a good crowd there.
Hell yeah.
We'll
It's
get a good crowd there.
anticipated.
Yeah,
Like all we need is a venue, and I promise you, I got a couple people that's reaching out to me to do some things at the venue. So,
I know
like I
you got
said,
a
it's
couple places for venues. I know I
yep.
could think of one or two for a venue. Dev always got one in his pocket somewhere. So, um, it's just one of those things. We'll see. We'll
It's
see.
gonna happen,
But
man.
but but yeah, and it seems like we was talking. We started talking pre-show about we both to talk to Dev and stuff like that. So, um, I think some things may be coming together a little bit more. I mean, at this point, we are 2 years from the show ending, basically, because we're in August now, and I got married in 23. We kept doing the show until August of 24, and that's when it was just all done. Um, so yeah, 2 years post full DMST stuff, just kind of stopping. So we'll see.
And my thing is, like, our group honestly will go like dormant for a little bit, but it ain't never going like completely done. I don't foresee that. Like, I don't think we'll ever stop doing the pod. That's just
I mean,
me.
well, you also got four creative people
Absolutely.
who, in whatever lane, be it you with the comedy, be it with Dev with the music, be it all that we, me and Playboy doing the DJing and things like that. So you got four people that are always in some way their minds are going a little bit,
Hmm.
something creative wise. And so it's hard to sit there and say people will completely stop doing something when, again, it's in you to
Yes.
be creative and come up with new ideas. I mean, I still sit here and laugh how even if I go and look at my notes in my phone right now, I try to be real careful when I look at my notes because I don't want to like update it or anything because then it changes the date to something newer. But I mean, there's legitimately stuff in my phone in my notes back in 2018, and the title of it is Pod and R&B. Dead ass. We didn't do Pod and R&B until 2020. But all the way back in 2018, I was thinking about it like, oh, how can we do something like this, and how can we get it started? And this is what we can call it. I mean, and I'm dead ass serious. 2018 in my phone. Um,
It's such a
so,
vibe. It's such a
hmm
vibe.
and that's what I mean. I'm just like, when you got with our group, we were already doing stuff in the creative space anyway. And so that ain't really gonna go away. So it'll be easy in that respect for us to come together, and however it's going to look, it is easy for that to happen. And then we always could talk. The podcast is easy.
And it's like, honestly, the podcast and comedy pretty much like has the same fuel. Because everybody asks me, like, well, how do you get your material? Life.
Yeah,
Life.
life.
As long as you keep living, you still got things to talk about. You know what I'm saying? So it really is just, people want to hear what's going on. And
Yeah.
long as like you got people that still want to see what's going on with you, it's always gonna be there.
Yeah, it's like you want to hear it, but just from different perspectives. I mean, it's
And vastly different perspectives, if you think about the four of us, vastly different perspectives.
yeah. There's a lot of stuff that goes on, and people talk about the topics, and you could, like, for people who listen to podcasts, like my wife listens to podcasts a lot of them during the week, I should say. So you can hear the same thing in a sense on multiple different shows if it's a big story,
Hmm.
but it's the perspective that you bring to it that makes it different. And that's why I know one of the, as I was just scrolling through prior to the show, topics. That's what one of the things that annoys me when people who are already on a higher level of podcasting, the celebrities, the people who run some of these networks and things like that. I used this example before for the Black Effect Network, which is the Charlemagne's network. But it was like a
Hmm.
lady, I guess it's like one of the higher ups that helped run the network, and she was just talking about how people always say, "Well, it's too many podcasts and this and that," and she was saying that it really isn't, but people aren't being creative enough, and it really rubbed me the wrong way because every single one of y'all shows are celebrity shows, and they talk about the same shit, but because they're your people, you act like they're doing something different. And they say the same things on all the celebrity shows because celebrities aren't all that deep, to be honest. Let's just
Because
let's stop.
they not in the real world as much as
No,
we
yeah,
are. If
yeah.
you think about it,
Now
like the things that we deal with from the day to day, as far as trying to figure out this kid's job, significant
people
others,
could relate
like
to
all
it a
that.
little bit more.
No.
Yeah,
So I
that
mean, it's
people.
good to have. Go ahead. I'm
No, go
sorry.
ahead. No, no, no. Go.
It's good to have like that kind of insight on how they're able to manage stuff on a business level at magnitude. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like that's the reason why a lot of people tune in to kind of see like, well, what happens behind this, celebrity. However, more down to earth, more real, more like I like the people who actually came into their celebrity from podcasting. Like I
Mm-hmm.
like to listen to Deontay Kyle. Like he
Mm.
is straight shot, no chase. He's not out here tap dancing for the most part, from what I heard. You know what I'm saying? He's not out here trying to, rage bait just to get, views and everything. Like, he's not pandering, none of that. It's straight, hey, this is what I think about that.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's just for me, and I am of the belief, or I am on the side of things that all of the celebrity shows really have killed the podcasting thing because it's too many of them. And the podcasting was such a niche thing. It was one of those things that you just got into it and you had to like doing it because people weren't really on that whole in that whole space. But I don't know. It is what it is. I don't even want to go back down that road too much
No, and
with
I mean, if
that
you
too
think
much.
about it, when you can talk about any and everything, you don't get stuck in this box. Because I
Yeah.
know some people try to go into like sports podcasting, but it's like it's so many people talking about that, and that's such a finite thing. You ain't go nowhere with it. The numbers is
Or
numbers, statistics is statistics. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Like it don't matter how great I feel like the Browns is, I can't podcast my way into a championship. You know what I'm saying? Wish I
yeah.
could.
It's that or
I'm gonna take this little
um
clip because if they win,
yeah,
I
it's
said
either
it.
it's those types of things. It's the sets podcast. You know,
Yes.
I've been listening to pods for over 10 years. I've been actually doing a podcast for 10 plus years now, and that was always the easy lane for people to get into, for especially for women.
Relationships.
You get
Yeah.
into it, and you run out of material in 10 shows. It's just people come and go, and that's why no matter what, I'm still glad that we've been able to do what we've done over these last 10 years, and we still keep going. We still can get on this microphone and do a show and talk about some stuff and speak. And yeah, I'm still proud of that.
Yes.
But I don't know.
Gotta
So let me
piss
just
out
look at
like pow.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm trying to see what is one of these things.
Let's go
Well, I
with
did.
Breakfast Club. Because I want to hear
Oh yeah,
this.
when I talk about
I
yeah,
want to hear
yeah. So
this.
this was actually the week before last when I was talking about, and I put it on my phone. I just said I felt like it was the most unnecessary conversation that I heard that whole week. But
Mm-hmm.
and I did see this morning actually translated or turned into a larger discussion, I guess, at some point during this past week. But anyway, the conversation, I don't even know how they got on like actual like washing your ass like in the shower, like doing it in the appropriate way. And like Envy had mentioned that he was showering with his wife, and so she was washing him, and then she went to, obviously clean his ass area, and so she actually got up in there, if you know what I mean, to actually clean or whatever.
Nah.
And he
Nah,
was looking
dog.
like, yo, what is you doing? And she's like, yo, that's how you need to properly be washing yourself away. And it turned into this larger argument of people, and I guess how they actually approach washing they ass area or whatever. And I'm just looking like, I don't know why that was necessary for radio, the whole conversation. But it was this thing where it's just like people was in the comments talking about dating people who they talking about they tired of doing they boyfriend's laundry or husband's laundry and they got skid stains. I'm looking like, who is the grown men that even before we get into getting into a shower and what you should be doing in the shower and how you should wash your ass and all that, what grown man is not properly wiping their ass after using the bathroom? Like, how are you grown and nobody has ever told you about yourself? If you a grown man with shit stains in your drawers as a grown man, you shouldn't be allowed to get no action. I'll just say it the nice way because I got to start being a little. You shouldn't allowed to be able to get none for at least a 5-year period. You should be banned for 5 because there's no reason in the world for you to be grown and you can't properly wipe yourself after you using the bathroom to the point that you are leaving stains in your underwear. And if
And
you aren't,
then and then let
if you
somebody else see them and watch
that's what I
them.
was about to say. Yeah, if you aren't
I'm sorry.
embarrassed by it, if you are not embarrassed by the fact that somebody has to see this and watch them, I don't even know what to tell you because what are we doing at this big old age?
First of all, my thing is, it wouldn't even be to the point that I'm married to this dude and washing his drawers and nothing like that. How do you even get that far? Like, how do you get that far?
Like,
Because trust me,
how's that not a
the,
turnoff?
listen, the first time, The first time I see some questionable drawers on my bedroom floor, baby, you're done. You're cooked. You're done.
What if he had a bad day? Come on now. What if he just had a
Listen.
bad day?
I don't give up.
What if
Listen, I
what
ain't
if his
never had a
shoulder was
bad day
hurting?
where I left anything in my motherfucking underwear.
What if his shoulder was hurting so he couldn't like really like get his arm all the way back?
You
His
know where I better
rotator
find
cuff
them?
was off.
You know where I better find them drawers?
In the
In the
trash.
bathroom, and his ass is in the shower. That's the only way. That's the only way. The only.
So you said it can't be the end of the day. It's like you just had these shits on all day, and can't be the end of the day.
Like you ain't itching. I'm talking about like literally like sweat can make you itch. You have stuff in your sir.
Yeah.
I can't even get it out. Like how? Like are y'all that homophobic that not even you can touch that hole? That's insane. That's insane.
What the conversation was kind of, I think, centered around. The fact that there are
give me a little touch glitter on my man because his ass better be clean.
I mean, again, I think that's what the conversation was, that there's a lot of men that just like, yo, that's the area you ain't supposed to really touch, and it's like you are killing me that you. No wonder you can't wipe your ass properly because you acting like ain't nothing supposed to go that ish. I'm with you. I can't. Why is your ass not itching? And if it is itching, why are you so comfortable with your ass itching? Because
let's be for real.
Hands up.
Let's be for real. A woman couldn't get away with that shit. Literally.
Far from it.
Literally.
Far from it. Yeah.
Literally.
Mm-hmm.
Like
one time, if a man saw that one time with a woman, it'd be raps, and he'd be talking about her so bad to all of his homies, his friends and stuff.
And will never let her go. Never let her go. And it's like, to me, I also question people who don't use washcloths when they shower. Because my thing is, like, when you use the bathroom, I use wipes and this and that, whatever. But wipes in the shower is two different things. I'm sorry. Like, you need to wash with a washcloth your body. Now, how long you keep that washcloth is another conversation. Because, honestly, some people, they say, I have it for like a week. And I'm like, okay. Some people say I change it every shower. Okay, I change it every shower. But I got into that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, I wasn't an every shower type person, whatever. But I thought about it. I was like, just buy some more washcloths. You know what I'm saying? Have them in rotation. I got like, at least in my linen closet, I got probably like at least like 40, 50 washcloths.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not an everyday change person, but I'm not a hold it for a week person either. You know, maybe like 2-3 days. I'm like, all right, let's flip this out, stuff like that. But yeah, I'm not an every single day person, but I understand that every single day. Because some people like, you're washing your dirty body with something. So if you wash something that was dirty, you take it and throw it into the dirty clothes and whatever. So I get it. I get it.
And it's like, it's all about who you is, because in all honesty, one of my exes, we had that come up or whatever, and that was prior to me becoming an every shower, like, change. He put it out there because I had mine. I was like about a little bit less than a week, and he put it on there, whatever. I guess trying to ask because he doesn't use a washcloth at all. And he was like, "So how long do you keep your washcloth?" And I was like, "Is you trying to shade me indirectly?" Because if I'm being quite honest, my nigga, like, I may use a washcloth for a couple of days, but you smell like a bag of onions almost every day. Like, so I had to ask him, how many times do you swipe the deodorant? Like, it don't work Bluetooth. Like, what's going on? And I'm telling you, I used to be on him. Like, I used to have him put an extra shirt in his car just in case he get like that.
Nah, not doing that. Not
doing
that with anybody.
I think it's about how well you take care of you and how your skin. And like, I started changing every shower because I have eczema and I would have it flare. And I'm thinking like, well, if I do everything just from square one, my skin will improve. And it did. You know what I'm saying?
That makes sense.
Pillowcases, I got multiple pillowcases because, again, my skin is very sensitive. So it really is about how you are as an individual. I don't care how. Honestly, I don't care as long as the things that need to be changed are changed.
Mm-hmm.
And you are clean, you smell good, if I could take an alcohol pad and not make it look like a flat screen TV that's off.
Yeah, 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 yeah,
But
yeah. Yeah,
no.
I saw something online before where there was like a lot of people are a white wash rag um using it on their neck away from being really humbled in life because people know like that washing that back of your neck sometimes, yeah, you take a little white wash rag with that one and put it back there, that'll humble you some people
And I
real
got
quick.
white washcloths. That's what I
Hmm.
use, is white washcloths.
Now see, I use those just for my face, whitewash, because
And that's
they
the
say
reason
that,
why. And
yeah,
that's
they
the
say
reason
the
why.
color,
So it's
yeah,
no
yeah,
dye or anything like
yeah,
that.
yeah,
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 that's
yeah,
that's the reason
yeah,
why. Now,
yeah.
let me ask you this. How many times a day do you brush your teeth?
Usually beginning of the day and the end of the day. And then
Okay.
sometimes depending on what I eat, I may brush my teeth during the day, but then that's different also because I'm home all day because I work from home. Like if I
Hmm.
was like like if we about to go out somewhere,
Yeah,
then
yeah.
you might go ahead and do it
Hit
again or
the
whatever.
chops.
But yeah, but I'm also a flosser. So
Okay.
if I eat, usually I'm a floss once I'm done
Right
eating.
after.
So yeah, usually
That's me.
I've just been over the last, I would say for the last maybe 4 to 5 years. It's not like I didn't floss before, but it's just
Uh-huh.
that's really just gotten to me. I hate feeling anything in my teeth. I hate it. And so, nowadays, like I'll eat and I was like, all right, let me just, if I'm right here on my couch, if there's a thing of floss right here on my couch where I sit at all the
Hmm.
time, because if I eat, at some point I'm like, yep, I need this floss real quick.
And it's crazy because, like I said, it's all about the individual. Because I just started doing the before bed. Like I said, if I'm about to go out somewhere or whatever, like it depends on where I'm at in my day. You know what I'm saying? I just started doing the before the bed because um I thought about it. I was like, you know, whatever you had going to bed, because I am a very ugly sleeper. TMI, whatever. I don't care. Y'all can use this running back talk about it. I don't care. That ain't me right now. But I slob when I sleep. So I sleep real ugly. You gotta love me to sleep next to me because I slob, I snore, it's real bad. It's real bad. But I noticed that like since I've been brushing my teeth before bed, I don't nothing in the morning.
Oh,
Nothing. And so now I'm wondering, like, does that help me breathe? Because I'm a nose breather. I'm not a mouth breather. So I was like, does that help me sleep with my mouth closed? You know what I'm saying? Not gonna breathe, through my nose.
yeah,
Because maybe the
that I
mint,
don't know.
opens up your sinus. I don't know. But I just found out, hey, maybe we should start brushing our teeth before bed so you can
Yeah,
sleep with your mouth closed.
yeah, do that anyway, just because you gotta get your whole day's worth of everything you done ate and drank and stuff off of off of
Trust
your
me, I
teeth and
wasn't
stuff like
always
that.
an adult pro max. So
Yeah,
like
no,
I
I
was
get
like
it.
what I'm like I do so much in a day that when I was in high school after practice, I'd be so fucking tired that I'd take a nap that would sometimes turn into sleep after school and just shower in the morning. And so
Yeah,
my sister nicknamed me Stink. She's like, get your stinking ass up.
yeah,
No.
yeah.
What?
I definitely shower before bed.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
Oh yes, yes,
yeah,
yes. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. You gotta get that whole day off of you. You
Trust
gotta
me.
shower. Yeah, like I'm a shower person. I
Mm-hmm.
could take a couple in a day,
Mm-hmm.
especially in the summer if I'm doing
Mm-hmm.
something. I'm not as bad as some people because some people it's like you go look out the window and they go take a shower like they've been outside. Like I'm not one of those people, but I am kind of, if I go outside, like I'm not going to go get in the bed, you know, um, outside clothes, those types of
Mm-hmm.
things. Um, I shower at night. Some people say, you should shower. Some people shower at night and then shower again in the morning too,
Yep.
because
Yep.
they say you've
Because
been
you sweat in
sweating
the middle of the
overnight.
night.
Yeah, I I do both at times. It depends. It honestly just depends. But again, I wake up in the morning and I'm working from home. I'm not waking up and it's like, oh, well, at 7 o'clock I got to be out the door and all those things. So you know, it's my routine is a little different. I can't knock anybody that says I shower at night and in the morning. I can't
And
knock
my
them.
thing is, it's all about again, like what works for you is what works for you, and everybody's life is not lived the same type of way. Like I said, as
Hmm.
long as you and your habits aren't offensive to my nose canal, we good. Like, cause I've
Tell me
never had
about it.
anybody say my breath stank. I've never had somebody say that I never had none of that.
Hmm.
I've never had any complaints about my body odor or my hygiene in any capacity. in
Yeah.
any capacity.
Yeah.
So, am I doing extra as I've gotten older? To me, yes,
I think
because
we all do a little extra as we get older.
yeah, because honestly, I didn't get my first pimple until I was a sophomore in college. Like all growing up, all through high school, whatever, I would do a warm washcloth, cold washcloth. Very like rarely did I even use soap on my face like that because again, my skin was real sensitive. Like I'll use Dove sensitive soap, like, but my face never had no issue. Like I said, I could take an alcohol pad to it, but that's the young skin and your systems, your lymphatic systems, and everything else is working at top speed at that age. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
Like now,
Hmm.
I got breakouts, I got just different things going on or whatever. So yeah, your hygiene is very personal. That's why it's called personal hygiene.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
can't do everything everybody else got going
Nah.
on.
You got to do what works for you and your body because
Exactly. Because I know big people
if
that
you're a
put
person that you
deodorant all
sweat
over
a
their body.
lot, yeah, I'm about to say yeah. If you sweat a lot, if you one of them type of people, your hygiene is probably a little bit different than somebody else. You know, so
Now, I
it
don't care for like what is it, Lumi or something like that, whatever. Like it's a full body deodorant that lasts for like
yeah,
72 hours.
I don't trust it.
You got 24 hours to put some hot water on your ass. I do
Less
not
than
play
that.
that. I don't care if I'm off that day and I did nothing but lay in the bed. Water is touching my ass and I ain't even went
Oh,
nowhere.
me too. Me too. If I don't leave out the house, I ain't left today. And at this point, I'm not going anywhere today. But you better believe that before I go get into bed tonight, I'm gonna take a shower. Because I'm still been up sitting on the couches that I sit on with outside clothes and we still sweat. When we get done doing the show, I'm gonna go upstairs and make dinner. I'm gonna be hot in the kitchen and all that stuff. Yeah, I'm still gonna get up
I'm
and go
coming over
take a
to get a
shower.
plate. Y'all cook every Sunday. I'm coming over.
Yeah, we do cook Sundays. We usually cook Sundays. We try to do 2 day. We try to do 2 day meals for the most part. We
Yeah.
try to do the leftovers. Sometimes you do something that you know is going to be a 1 day meal, especially something that people really like. But
Yeah.
but yeah, usually Sundays I cook. Try to do a 2 day meal. Usually Tuesday she'll cook because I go DJ. 2 day meal. Thursday kind of varies. It could be a 2 day meal sometimes. It just depends on what the Friday's going to be, what people got going on. Saturday is usually kind of a free for all. Whatever people want to find. If you want to buy something, it kind of that's generally our week of food. Sunday, Tuesday, and Thursday, we're really gonna cook.
And you know
Then
what's so crazy? I want to get back to cooking more than I eat out. And I'll be so busy and I'll be so tired, but I got to just get back to it because I think about it, it's going to be very expensive when you
it
get
already
to
is.
relationships and family. You can't eat out all the time like that, baby girl. You got to cook. And I can cook. And the crazy
Yeah,
thing is, I can cook. Sometimes I'll be so mad, like, why the fuck did I buy this? I can cook it better myself.
yeah. I hate it in the summer because it's warm in the summer, but and once they start getting back into fall and winter, like I really have less of a problem with cooking. Just get in the kitchen and do it. But I also say too, for
And
people who are busy like you, who are
yeah,
gone a lot, get you a crock pot. Get you a little crock pot or a little slow cooker, whatever you want to call it. Get you that and start throwing you stuff in there when you go to work. And by the time you get home, it's ready to go.
what I really want to fine tune, and it's crazy because I got it and it's just still in the box. What I really want to fine tune is being able to cook stuff I can freeze. Because with it being just me, I
Yeah.
waste more food. You know what I'm saying? So in a sense, the same money I spend eating out, I be putting in the trash.
Yeah,
So
we were just having that conversation here about fruit the other day because they were
mhm,
saying is it better to get frozen fruit or fresh? The fresh fruit it tastes better, but but you wind up losing so much money because you got to eat that fresh fruit, especially nowadays. Fruit only lasts a day and a half. And then they start to go bad. It's like you got to eat it, so you wasted so much money because it's in the trash can. But yeah, I
and
mean,
it's
like I
crazy
said,
because I think like to actually optimize your time and your meals, you would legit probably have to go to the grocery store every day
if
and
you didn't
buy
want to
fresh.
waste, yeah, if
And
you
buy
didn't want to
fresh.
waste,
And
yeah.
literally just buy whatever you're gonna eat that night and the
Yeah.
next day, that day. But you literally to optimize your money, your time, and the food will probably have to go to the grocery store every day and
But
just have it fresh.
that's kind of how I lived though before Corlicia and them moving here.
Hmm.
Yeah, I would just say, okay, what do I want to make for dinner today? Like I didn't do big grocery shopping. I would
Yeah,
get the
yeah,
stuff I
yeah, yeah,
needed,
yeah.
stuff that you
Yep,
need to last, some milk,
yep.
eggs, those things were there. But when it came to like the meals I really wanted, if it was today, I'm like, all right, what do I want to cook today? All right, I'll run to the store and get what I'm gonna make today. Boom. And I make that, and then Tuesday I come or Wednesday. I'm like, oh, what I want to make? Oh, all right, well I'll run to the store and get it. Sometimes I might go ahead and get it like this meal today and the next one. But a lot of times it was just, oh, today I want to make some tacos. All right, well, I'm going to run to the store and get what I need now. oh, today I want to make a steak. Well, I'm gonna go pick up the steak now. I just,
You ain't got to worry
but
about throwing it out. You ain't got to
all of
worry
that,
about no freezer. You like none of that.
yeah, and that goes into what you were just saying too about freezing stuff because you cooking for one. Unless just get like a pack of. I'm just gonna say pork chops. You probably don't eat pork. You don't eat pork, but I'm just saying. I'm just gonna use that as an
I got
example.
I got salmon fillets in my freezer right now.
Yeah, but get something where you could just take it, and I've gotten packs of stuff. Again, I'll use pork chops as the example, and I'll take it and just put it in some plastic wrap, and then take it and freeze it too. But doing them solo, so whenever I want one or two, I could just pull them out, and I ain't got to I don't have to worry about taking the whole pack out. Um,
Hmm.
like take stuff out and freeze it separately into the smaller meals, so that when you cook it, it's already that way. Instead of okay, I got to make this whole thing, and I got to try to eat it all now. Just buy the big pack, separate them into the size of meals that you're gonna make it.
Hmm.
Even if you get a big pack of chicken, okay, well, I'm gonna make two chicken breasts or three chicken breasts for the next 2 days. Then put them into a little thing, individually wrap them, and then put them into your freezer bags. And then you can just pull them out one by one.
You know what I've been on to is just going to farmers markets
Yep.
more than major grocery stores because I feel like you don't deal with as much processed food or chemicals or everything like
Yeah.
that, whatever, because they don't it be right there. Like
Yeah.
from the
Somebody
yard
brought it
to
from
your
there. Yeah.
table.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
you know,
Yeah. Some
and
of it.
like the food, if you think about the food right now, it's so crazy. I don't care what nobody says. They doing something with the food because I promise you, I've only got ate up by mosquitoes once this entire summer. And it
Well,
was
mosquitoes
when
will
I was
never
talking
touch
about
me.
it, so I probably don't get ate up again. I need to knock on some wood. But I'm like, I used to get ate up by mosquitoes all the time. Like, all the time. The fact that I only got ate up once, I don't care about they doing something with the food. Like this whole, what is it, salmonella breakout, and this, what is the other one or whatever? It's over with a C,
Yeah.
like
The
with the
the
lettuce or
cycle.
whatever.
Yeah.
I'm,
I think a psycho
as
explorer is
soon as
how
I
they
want
say
to
it.
eat healthy, all of a sudden, all the healthy stuff is compromised. That's interesting.
And what it is what I was telling Corlicia about that the other day. At least my perspective of it is the fact that we have these little outbreaks from here and there, all the time. You'll hear recalls about stuff like that. The biggest problem we're seeing in our country right now is the fact that we have a incompetent administration, and so they are horrible at tracking these things and finding a source, and then finding a way to minimize these things. That's why the stuff is constantly going on, because we have a very, very incompetent administration. The CDC does this stuff where I use this example all the time, that like back in 2020, I'm sorry, back in 2023, when we got married, when Carlicia was on her bachelorette party in Mexico, they some of them got food poisoning when they came home, like from like that last meal they had ate out at that resort. And this is how these things work. Again, people talk a lot about how stuff ain't this and this ain't that, and I'm not even going to go down and think about vaccines and stuff like that. But there are processes in place. I do public health. That's my thing. That's what I got my master's in. But a lot of stuff is in place to help mitigate some of these things. So like they got food poisoning. When people, the reason they know these outbreaks occur is because these things are monitored. Like and hospitals have reports and stuff like that. So when you start getting these multiple reports, that's when your district, city, local health offices or whatever start to pick up on these things, and that's when they go to work and start researching this stuff, and that's how they find out. But again, back to her example, they got sick in Mexico. They were able to pinpoint the resort they were at and the food that they ate and the source of it. Y'all had these burgers that came from this place or whatever,
Hmm.
because that's what their job is. Again, our administration right now is so terrible. Our RFK Jr. Heading that whole department, it's horrible that they can't figure out the sources of these things. So things that could be smaller in nature, that don't have to be an outbreak, are being more of an outbreak now because they can't do their jobs of figuring out what the source is. They are
You know what I
horrible.
found very interesting? When you said that the hospitals report, basically the findings that the patient community is that, I found it very interesting that my friend, right before they announced that outbreak with the lettuce and everything like that, whatever, had those symptoms and went to the hospital and basically kept getting sent home. Like, oh well, take this pain medication or just take this antibiotic. Like it was very dismissive type of um acknowledgement of it,
Well,
to where even the at home test that she's supposed to like send off, they lost the first and second sample of what she sent in. So it's like, are y'all trying to sit up there and mess with the numbers that things are not happening to these people that are happening? And then I find it very interesting that also the locations of these outbreaks are Mexican restaurants.
yeah, well, the actual place that they linked the lettuce back to was a
They said
Mexican
Taco
place.
Bell, they said Qdoba Chipotle.
Yeah, yeah. The place that they linked
Very
it back to.
interesting when we have so many people that's up in arms about ICE. But we're not gonna go
No,
down that
no,
hole.
but they actually let them people off the hook. That's a whole other thing. But yeah, it's just
Yeah.
as a whole. Again, as a whole, it's just like now. We're having way more measles outbreaks right now. There was just a case at university recently of somebody in town, I think from Pennsylvania, that you know, possible measles and things like that. Like they have to start alerting people when people are in your area with these types of things.
Yeah.
Um, and it's a long story on that too, but still, it's we've been random since we were talking, and that's a
I just
pointless one to go down. Yeah.
I just hate it because as covert as it may seem, biological warfare is a tool that people use because
It
it's
will
just
work.
it doesn't make sense how some of this stuff happens that's so preventable. You know what I'm saying?
It's easy. Well, no, you're absolutely right. Um, but if you put people into a place, the last thing I'll say, if you put people into a place where, for whatever reason, the thing that has worked for years, and people could say whatever they want to, and again, I'm not even prepared to go down this thing today. People could say whatever they want about vaccines and stuff like that. Again, I'm a public health person, so I have a very different view on it.
Mm-hmm.
But you could have things that have been at bay for years. And then we would get to this place where people are comfortable saying why they are against these things, taking vaccines and stuff like that, which people have the right to be against those things. That's fine. And so now it becomes the popular thing to do, that everyone says we're not going to do these things. And now these things that you had at bay for years start to make a comeback. It's very easy to, when you talk about biological warfare, something like that, because at that point, to me, you have enough of the public that's really skeptic. They have a lot of skepticism about these types of things, that they're not doing the things that used to be done before that kept these things at bay. And now you can introduce a hell of a lot more things, because for me, the popular thing to do right now is to be skeptical of these things, when it wasn't that case 10 years ago or 15 years ago or 20 years ago, because people of a certain age all have vaccines for 1,000 different things. Like, we didn't even worry about measles when we were kids, because when we were coming up as kids, our parents took us and we got vaccinated for these things when we were younger. But now, every year, there are, tons of measles outbreaks in places and stuff like that, which is whatever. But I don't
I'm
know.
gonna say this.
It's you keep it rolling, because that's just the sign of the time. So that's just where we are right now.
I'm gonna say this. I don't necessarily think that the thing is the issue. It's the manufacturing. So, for example, in Cleveland, you have a lot of people that are basically opening up these lounges, these bars, to take over liquor license and everything like that, whatever. And there has been an uptick in people who are cutting liquor because, again, you
We talk
get
about that a lot,
your
yeah,
financial
in the
benefit off of it.
bars.
You
Yeah,
said what?
I was saying yeah, that's the conversation we talk about. Obviously, I'm DJing in a couple places outside,
Yeah.
so, and there are
So
a ton of places that cut liquor. Yeah,
that's what I'm saying.
yeah.
So the thing is, it's not that they don't trust like the vaccines per se. It's the people that's manufacturing it because while those things were heavily useful to us back in the day, a lot of them are now being linked to autism and heavy metal exposure and things of that nature. And we can't void out that information and those facts as well. So it's like you really, really, really have to make those personal choices to expose yourself to something, regardless of what it is. whether it's liquor, vaccines, doesn't matter, whatever, you know what I'm saying, you are putting in your body, the manufacturing and the intentions behind what you're doing on a mass scale and the quality and the integrity of what you're doing matters more.
I
Because
can't
it's
I
some
can't
places
argue
that
that.
I'll go, I'll never drink or get a drink in them places because I know for a fact they cut their liquor or they do something with it. It was a bar, I think in Garfield, that was actually putting fentanyl in their liquor. Now, you can say back in the day, I used to always get a blue motherfucker and it was cool. Last time I had a blue motherfucker, I ended up not like again, it's what people are doing to these things. Everybody is not a good person. Everybody doesn't have the intention of doing good business. There are fucked up individuals out here. And that's the real issue.
Yeah,
That's
I
the
mean,
real issue.
and that's where I'm not going. I won't argue with a person for having that point of view because you're absolutely right. Um, Now the only place I'll push back on is that again for me on my side, I I I I can't say for certain that vaccines or something wouldn't be linked to autism or something, but me from my work or whatever, the for whatever little limited piece I've done in that stuff or whatever in the schooling whatever, there are very there are fewer articles saying that vaccines are linked to autism than there are people that ones that say they are. But that's a different part. That's another whole nother argument that we can't have right now
No, no.
into
And
this
listen,
podcast.
I listen. And I said I don't
What I did want to say, yeah, but no,
okay, go
real
ahead,
quick,
I'm
what I did
sorry.
want to say is like, but what's your point of not trusting the people is valid because it's I think we're at a point in life right now where people are again because so many things have been introduced into our lexicon of stuff right now, how people look at stuff. People are very much more weary of other people to say, okay, what are you doing and how are you doing these things? Which I think is valid. I think that's 100% valid. I always laugh at the fact that we can be that way and we have to be that way. But unless we are in a place in the country somewhere with a bunch of land, growing our own food and everything or whatever, something that we do every day or multiple things we do every day is something that we have to put into our bodies or intake that we have to trust either the government or somebody to make for us. And so what I find people do is people pick and choose what they want to say is they want to question as far as what they put into their bodies and the other things. It's almost like, what something was happening recently and I can't think of it. Man,
The
I really can't think.
Canadian fires.
No. It was something about people talking
Oh.
about they didn't want to it was something about food or something recently. Not even like the lettuce stuff or whatever. But and people was just sitting here like people sit and people drink and they smoke and they do all these things or whatever. But then you draw the line at something like this, and it's just it's everything. Aspirin we take has to be approved by our government, the FDA or something to make sure it's safe. Or if we go get a 10-piece from Chick-fil-A, somebody has to approve how it's processed somewhere. So that's all I would say we have to at some point we all input take something into us that someone has to approve and we have to trust to say, hey, well, you doing the right thing here. Hell, even if it's not even something we put in us, gas we put in our car, we have to and we have to believe that the people that are doing whatever they're doing to make
That is
it
actually
right for our
gasoline, that was
cars.
water.
Yeah, all types of stuff. So it's one of those things. People have to make decisions that's comfortable for them at the end of the day. That's all that really comes down to. You have to make decisions that's comfortable for you. It's just that when it comes to stuff that's matters of public health again, people's that decisions that whatever people make, it's going to have an impact on others. If you say yay or nay to anything, if I don't know. I mean, people don't. I just started getting flu shots, some years back. I was really never really on them. I don't haven't gotten the flu in years, But at my job, they prefer you to get them, so I do get them, and I mean, it hasn't affected me either way. Maybe I've gotten sick, and maybe it's been a little bit less, because I've gotten the flu shot or whatever. I don't know, but eh, people got to do what's best for them.
No,
But
absolutely. And I think
but
that
yeah, go ahead.
the individual choice of doing XYZ should not be pander to how it affects everybody else because it doesn't on some things. Don't get me wrong. Because I hate how during that time of the pandemic, it's like you don't care about your family if you're not vaccinated. You don't give like like the narrative is what I don't like because I don't care, and it goes back to like the conversation of morality in a sense because is it possible that a prostitute could say they got raped? You're a prostitute. This is what you're supposed to do. This is like it goes like yes, they can be raped. Like yes, they can file charges, they can claim rape, and you can go to jail. Don't matter if that is their job. Like people's boundaries are their boundaries, and they're very personal. And if you don't agree with that, you don't have to be around them. That's also another thing. I kid you not. It's so funny because I just posted this the other day. My one college friend told me when we was in college, if you can't change the people that's around you, then change the people that's around you. If we can't agree to, our social exchanges, then guess what? We can agree to disagree. We can, and that is completely your choice. I don't care if you said Eulise. You can't come on my house no more, whatever, because you don't like taking off your shoes when you come to people's house, whatever. So you can't come over here because you got to take off your like that's literally your choice, my decision. You have plenty of choices, but just like any other word with IDE behind it means to kill all the options. So it's your choice to either accept the boundaries or not accept the boundaries. It's my decision on if I allow you to have that access and proximity to me. These are all individual
That's
choices.
absolutely true.
And it doesn't have to make sense to nobody else. If you don't like it, cool. If you like it, cool. But it shouldn't be to where we are ostracizing individuals because of our personal beliefs that we can't seem to agree on. That's where it gets to be like, that's too much. That's too far.
Yeah, I get you. So let's switch it up a little bit. I don't know. All right,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
here's another huh?
Those two topics ran.
Yeah. So I'm like, yeah, because we probably coming up on we ain't at an hour yet, so we good. So here's another big story that was in the news this week where there's always talk around trans people, obviously, because I feel they're an easy community to punch down on, so because there's such a minority. If you really think about the number of people, I guess, in the world that are probably trans, there's such a minority of people. And let's just say this: that's overall. I'll put this blanket statement out at least for me on my half. I don't have a problem with trans people the same way I don't have a problem with gay people, whatever, because it doesn't affect me. I feel like if you was of whatever age you were and you felt like as you were born a boy but you felt like you should have always been a woman, or you were born a girl and felt like you always should have been a man, I don't know, it hasn't been my thing, so I can't speak to that experience. But if that's how you feel and that's you as a person, if you're not affecting anybody else, I feel like you should have every rights like everybody else should. I feel gay people should have every rights as everybody else should, because it doesn't affect me. It don't affect me and my household. It really does not. I don't ever fall under the thing of people shoving gay agendas down you and stuff like that. I don't ever fall into that bucket of stuff because I don't see it either. It don't even hit me with stuff. The way people be presenting stuff all the time, it don't even hit me. So that's my blanket statement on it. But it's been in the news this week because there's a lot of talking around the NBA circles because, a couple players that play for the Indiana Fever, obviously Caitlin Clark is one of the most popular players in the league. One of her teammates, Sophie Cunningham, has become more popular because she speaks out about social issues sometimes that comes on the more conservative sides of things, which she is allowed to be conservative in her thoughts and her viewpoints. She's allowed to do that. She kind of has gotten a little bit more heat lately because she's made some statements and then people want to follow up with her on it. She doesn't want to go into it pretty much. So, she literally has gone from being fairly popular, being on that team, fairly known in those circles, to being a hell of a lot more popular on the conservative, as they say, MAGA side of things, because she makes certain statements in a certain way. But anyway, so trans stuff has come up a lot lately. Again, if we just look at numbers, there's not a lot of trans women playing sports because it's just not with women. They may try every now and then. You'll get that story that get in the news. We know, we've heard those stories, but it's not like every state has hundreds of trans women playing women's sports or whatever. I also feel like, even though I can sit there and say I think that they deserve their rights, I also feel like if we're being normal, rational minded human beings, that I can say that I don't think trans women probably should be playing sports with regular women, because you're, I'm not a scientist, I'm not a doctor or whatever, but I know that if you're born male and your composition is different, you're probably stronger than others and things like that. I just don't think you probably need to be playing sports with trans women. Now, could you have a bigger argument about once you start taking hormone replacement therapy and things come down to certain other levels that's more on a woman's side of things? Maybe that's a different conversation. I don't even care about having that conversation, because I just feel like you probably shouldn't be doing it. I almost feel like if you were, let's say you were born male, but you feel like you should have been female, and you start to transition, something like that, then I almost feel like, too bad you missed out. I'm sorry. That's just my approach. Why I feel like you should have your rights and everything like that, I just feel like you probably missed out on that part of things. I think that's a rational approach. But all this conversation is happening right now because you have to say yay or nay on either side. You can't be in that gray area of nuance or just rational or whatever. That's how this world is. Again, you got to either be for or against, and you got to go all the way in or whatever. So now you have two different arguments that are happening. One that I wanted to have, that I'll wait to till we have, to Dev is joining us or something like that, where there's a guy, Clay Travis, who was a conservative person, far left. I'm sorry, far right. He's one of the white, more so sexist type of conservative type of people. But he put up a bunch of money saying that, I think he said 10 million, like $10 million, I think, for a WNBA team to play like a state championship winning boys high school team. I had a problem with that, because if we want to talk about the merits of a game, you play basketball. If we want to talk about the merits of a game, do I think a senior field boys high school team could probably beat a WNBA team? I don't know, maybe, probably, in a sense. I don't know, but I feel like that whole thing was rooted in sexism, because
Absolutely.
we would never do it
Absolutely.
we would never do it to a men's team. We would never sit there and say, we wouldn't even say men to men. We wouldn't even say, hey man, the closest I could actually see was sometimes there'll be a really good college football team that's undefeated, like when Alabama was really good or something like that, and they'll say, boy, that team could probably beat, insert whatever the worst team is in the NFL. They could probably beat them in the game, and even when you would do that, a lot of men would come on and say, no, that team is full of grown men. These are all 18 to 20-year-olds on this college team. That team is grown men. You're not going to beat them in a football game. But my point is, you would never do that to men. So that whole statement wasn't even rooted in, a trans argument or whatever, or trying to be whatever. It was just rooted in sexism. So that's why I had a problem with that. But if you want to argue the merits of who will win that game, okay, I'll do that with you at some point. But the biggest thing that came out of this whole conversation is, there's two former NBA players, and it's Enes Kanter, who's always an asshole when he was in the league, and then this other guy, Royce White, who was a black guy, but he's now a conservative Republican guy in Minnesota running for office, who both have declared for the WNBA draft. Two grown-ass men saying that they want to make themselves eligible for the WNBA draft, just trying to be funny. Obviously, as you know, they're trying to be funny. And I just feel like it's a level of stupidity of people where, you can have a whole group of people that's really just trying to mind their business and live their life, and people just fucking with them for no reason. Again, why would I have trouble? Why would I have problem with anybody who's trans, gay, or anything that doesn't affect my daily life? Like, why would I have a problem with them? And they're coming out to say all these things, and they're trying to hide behind a space of being like they're trying to protect women and women's sports. But like, people have been pulling up the bio on like Royce White and stuff like that over the past couple of days, who has restraining orders out against him from his ex, and he can't even go around his and the kids and stuff because he's an abuser. But you want to protect women. So it's not even an argument about protecting women. It's an argument about being bigots and all those types of things, more than anything else. It's not about, and it's also an argument to just attack trans women for no reason. But it's really been a big argument over these last couple of days. And again, the positions that people are taking is not about protecting women. It's coming just out of misogyny, and just hating trans people for no reason who ain't thinking about you. And it boggles my mind the amount of energy people give to a group of people who ain't bothering you. You know what I mean?
The male ego is a hell of a drug. The male ego is a hell of a drug, and I'm gonna say it again because at the end of the day, it's individuals out here that care more about being right than actually doing what's right.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and the male ego has had people expose their hand in a lot of different ways. Like you said, how are you trying to protect women yet you can't even be around the woman you make create kids with? So, like, is
Make it
that?
make
And then
sense.
even on the
Make it make
social media
sense.
side, I'm sorry.
No, I just said make it make sense. Yeah.
Even on the social media side, I had just seen, and I don't know the details of it. However, this is just the surface information that I got. Again, correct me if I'm wrong, but it's a relationship coach in that field. I would label it. You know what I'm saying? Best for lack of a better description. His name is Yada Awakening or something like that, whatever. And he had this whole thing where his wife has a $250,000 allowance to get this and that way. Da 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 da. Come to find out, him and his wife ain't even together no more, and he making fake pages to talk about she was cheating and trolling her and this and that, whatever. And from what I understood, his previous girl or baby mother or partner, whatever, basically he was an abuser. So this abuser turned relationship coach, who's now going through a divorce. You know what I'm saying? Who put up this big old front? You know what I'm saying about this, that, and the
Mm-hmm.
third or whatever. It's like, what is it about the obsession of looking like a good person versus all of the simplicity about just being a good person? Like, it's crazy to me. And then like even I had even seen, again, this is on the male ego side. It was males that was mad that gay dudes wasn't hitting on them. Like, you're gay, you like men, I'm a man. Why you don't like me? Why do you want? Why as a straight man? Why do you care? He don't like you. Like,
Mm-hmm.
what? Huh?
The yeah,
And like even when you said like the whole high school versus the WNBA, I'll be 100 with you. We do a new school versus old school volleyball game for our all class reunion at Warrensville every year. Guess who win? Guess who win?
mm-hmm.
The old people, because guess what? Not just physical capabilities matter when it comes down to competing. Yeah, your IQ, your sports IQ matters as well.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, my nephew, he's 6'8", 6'9". My basketball IQ is different than his. So yeah, I'm gonna get a couple points on that man, and he's way bigger than me, and he's a boy. So that doesn't mean that I can't get over. Like, I can get over.
Yeah.
Like, you could be 6'8". If I'm shooting from the baseline back here and making them, guess what? I still outscored you. That's the name of the game.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, yeah, maybe that high school team wins, but or whatever. But it's like, but you're still talking about, like, even if it was a state championship team, like people wanted to take, like I saw people putting the argument up about, look at this one state championship team, and it was a team that had like maybe 3 or 4 pro players that actually want to go into the league. Most of your state championship teams ain't filled with players that's going to the league. So you're talking about a league full of professionals, or a team full of professionals versus a team full of people who, on, even if your state championship team won, maybe 2 or 3 of them was like really, really good ass motherfucking players
Yeah.
for real, like
Any
them
championship
real
team in
players.
basketball
Yeah,
is only gonna have 2 or 3 good people.
yeah, you know what I'm saying. So
And
it's
they can't
just
play the entire game at that
so
capacity, my nigga.
so it's just like again, maybe they probably would win, and but again, that's besides the point to me. The part of the argument that really just irritated me was the fact that, again, what it's rooted in. And it's just like,
Absolutely.
how
Absolutely.
how can
Very Texas.
it's like black people who just live their life, and I see online all the time, and it's true. Black people just be living their life doing nothing, minding their business, and then here comes some white person wanting to fuck with them for
Yeah.
what? That's
I
why you
follow a
have that
page
whole
it's
thing.
called Leave
Yeah,
Black People Alone. And it's full
Yeah.
of clips of the shit.
Yeah, that's why
Yeah.
that's why people, that's why we got the whole thing of, a whole black people can't do this now. Black people can't do this now. It's just you can't be black and walk in the park. Some random white person gonna talk to you and tell you why you can't do this or why you can't do this somewhere. You can't be black and do this. It's tiring. And it's like, and again, you wouldn't have done that. You would have never sat there and said, boy, this team here, this whole male team here, they wouldn't even be able to beat this one team. It's like, I just want people to stand on their shit. That's all. Just stand on it. Like, you ain't got to cloak it in this little thing of I'm trying to protect people and all this stuff or whatever. But it also with that, because people just want to get into their little bubbles of whoever they are and live in that space. That's what makes it okay for them. They don't have to see your point of view. They don't care anymore. I'm just going to go in my corner with my people. We're all so siloed in this country. I'm going to go in this corner with my people, and this is my point of view no matter what, and you can't change me. Okay. But it's it's
What's
it's
what's
it's just a huge sexist argument.
what's really damaging is the superiority complex because there's so many shared spaces, and everybody in your shared space is not a threat. They ain't even thinking about you. Like, for
Mm-hmm.
example, I hate when people say or try to categorize me as a black female comic. I'm a comic. I'm funny. I'm not funny for a black female. I'm just funny. Like how they do with colorism. Oh, she's pretty for a dark skinned girl. She's
Yeah.
pretty. Like, why does it have to be this extra bracket when it is what it is? I'm
Yeah.
not funny for a black female. I'm just funny. Like, I have tore down stages with white male comics, with black male comics, with white people. I'm funny, but I don't look and try to measure myself based on somebody else's blueprint because that's not who I am. And
Mm-hmm.
who I am has its own merit. You know what I'm saying? Because guess
Yeah.
what? You can't put anybody in any space. And that's the problem. Because you have to have this person for this and that person for that. Like, as far as, Hollywood, and I'm casting, back in the day, they used to cast white people for roles that were completely not their ethnicity. There is a
Mm-hmm.
black person for this role. You don't have to make a person who is white a black person to be this. There are people who are born this way who have this
Yeah.
demographic
And they
and could
have that
do
skill and
the
they can
fucking
do it.
job. What
Yeah.
is the
Yeah.
job? Why are you so focused on trying to be in every category as an individual when you only are supposed to be in one? That makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there is space for us to coexist just fine. Where this superiority complex comes from, I have no freaking idea. And it does not have to be just one. It doesn't ever have to be one. Like, just because, the sales for Sara Lee bread is higher than maybe Wonder, that doesn't mean Wonder stops making bread. No. Wonder still will teeter that scale at some point. It goes up and down.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's space for everybody. If I came out with a bread brand, move over. Mine going right here. Guess what? Now
Yeah.
we at 38 different brands of bread. So, trust me. And like you said, your ideas travel. And I've seen people who have literally executed some of the things that I have been blessed to see, and God bless me with the vision. That doesn't mean that I'm not going to still do them, because guess what? How I do it is going to be vastly different than how you do it. But guess
Mm-hmm.
what? People now have options. It doesn't have to just be one. It doesn't have to be this. It could be a lot of different things. But there's space for everybody. And
Yeah.
if we just focus more so on enjoying what people bring to the table versus who's serving what, within reason, then we would have a lot more life to experience and enjoy versus being worried about who is, it drives me insane. Like, when do we get back to minding our business?
We won't.
Like, I just seen a post. This girl was dancing. You can tell it's for a music video or whatever. Again, it's not like your everyday. She ain't at a freaking picnic with your kids.
Yeah.
She's shooting a music video. They happen to post the behind the scenes of this music video. She's a dancer. She had one of the little what is it, the flares or the sparklers or whatever in her peach emoji.
Okay.
And it was all these comments like, "Oh my God, as a female, we have to do better, this and that, whatever." Like, at the end of the day, you don't even vibe with the 2-year-old that you was friends with back in the day when you grew up. Because guess what? Y'all grew apart. Does that make you any different from a female than the person you grew apart from? Why do you have to sit up there and think that everybody has to move like you? Everybody has to live like you? Like, yeah, it's 2026, and what used to be down the street and around the corner is now right in the palm of your hands. You have the entire world and what they are doing in the palm of your hands. If your nervous system is so triggered by what the fuck somebody else is doing, it's
Yeah.
that simple.
Yeah. And at the end of the day, go outside and touch some grass. Like go live. I mean, go live your life, and stop acting like the back to that or I guess the original point of it or whatever. Just like it's stop acting like the small thing that someone does is affecting you that much. So if you see somebody in the video, like you just said, dancing or whatever, yeah, some things we can look at and be like, okay, this is like maybe a microcosm or something that's bigger, but sometimes it's just somebody shooting a music video or whatever. Like, whatever. Even if we think it's
And it's
dumb.
crazy to me because, like, at the end of the day, people have to understand that we are individuals and we are functioning at the highest level of our consciousness. Everybody has their learning curve. So yeah, the same girl that was dancing on the bar yesterday could have become enlightened, and she's in the pulpit tomorrow, and then
Which
3
a lot
weeks
of
from now
people do.
she back dancing. Like everybody has their journey in life to live. Everybody, and it does not have to make sense to you, and it does not have to be stamped of approved to you either.
No. Nope.
So if you don't like something, keep it moving. It's not gonna change nothing. And I think the biggest issue is that when I was growing up, my dad told me as soon as I got in front of TV, look, what you see on TV is entertainment, it's not real life. And you keep it just that. So I've never sit up there and hated an actor for his role in a movie. Like it was a minute, like people hated Lawrence Fishburne for his role as Ike Turner for a minute. Who was it? Blair Underwood. He couldn't get out of the daggone evil villain. Like every role he was an evil villain. Like it's just, but is he that person offset? Absolutely not. He's playing a role. I never get, it was like a minute when Power first like got into like their second, third season. The girl Angela, who plays the FBI agent or whatever,
Yeah, people hated her.
was literally getting harassed in real life for her part. Like y'all do understand that she's playing a fucking role on a TV show.
So was because I've been watching a lot of the Issa Rae is doing a podcast with Princess Penny, who was like the showrunner, I think, on Insecure, and so they just got done with the first season. They look back at season 1. Insecure is one of the best shows that's ever been on TV. Side note, but the guy that played Lawrence, he was getting harassed a lot of times when the first season was going on because of what was happening.
You got adults doing this shit. That's what I don't understand. That's what I don't like. You have adults doing this shit.
It's called, what do they call it? It's called socio something, parasocial relationships, parasocial, where people are looking online at people and acting like they really know them.
Yeah.
And that's what it is. So that's what it is. And you know, we said this the last time on our last episode, where you got to remember that, you know, we used the school bus episode. There's a lot of people who used to either go to that school behind the school, or they would go to the, or they got brought to the school, and that bus stop's a little bit shorter than everybody else's, and everybody's in Gen Pop now. But I don't even know if it's as simple as that, because, you know, it's maybe people are just changing. Maybe the availability of seeing people all the time is just changing people, no matter what, no matter if you wasn't no type of people. Maybe it's just changing your point of view because you see them post all day and all these other things. But even with that, I can't even give into that argument, because if I see you on a movie as a character, you're just a goddamn character. I ain't gonna see you in the streets and be like, you know what, goddamn it, the way you did so and so. The hell are you talking about? I was watching a TV show or a movie being entertained for 2 hours. What the hell are you talking about? But these people are insane when they run up on people and be like, acting like that was what they really are. These people are absolutely insane.
And
I couldn't imagine.
Because I used to always laugh at the one part of the movie where Jada Pinkett ran up on the white dude in a Low Down Dirty Shame.
Oh yeah. Outside the store. Yeah.
I always thought that was like kind of far out until 2026.
And think about it, a Low Down Dirty Shame was what, 19? I'm about to
90s.
look at 1994 or something,
90s,
maybe.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm gonna get the
yeah.
whole year. I'm about to
So
look at
so
it
my
real
thing,
quick.
like I've never understood it, and I pray and I wonder, and you know it's so crazy now that we're talking about it. Now that we're talking about it, it almost is like, damn. As a comic, I
Hmm.
wonder if people think that some of my jokes is really like how I get down in like real life and stuff like that, whatever. Don't get me wrong, they come from a real place. But do you think when I joke on stage and talk about how I'm 6'1" and when I wear heels I'm 7'12", that I'm really 7'12" in heels?
There are some people that's just they are, and by the way, it is 94. I'm damn, I'm good in 1994.
Hey.
A low down dirty shame. But yeah, they're just people who just feel like that's normal. Yeah, whatever you're saying, whatever you're portraying at the point is what's actually happening. Because I keep saying these goddamn phones and social media, as good as it is one of the worst things that has ever happened to people, because people sit here and live in a space that they really feel like it's real. And so when you see these people on TV, or you see these people posting on Instagram, or they're on Twitter and they on TikTok and whatever else, you think that you know these people, and you don't know them at all. You don't. They are doing whatever they have to do to make money for their brand. That's why there's a million celebrities that are nothing like their outward persona, or they're in the streets on the camera persona.
You
Nothing
know what?
like
You
it.
know what's sickening? You know what's really sickening? Like you said, you really think you know these people. And what pisses me off most right now, and I have to catch myself with not engaging in these different comments and stuff like that, whatever. So I ran across this post of Rihanna. And you know, Rihanna and ASAP, you know, they're kind of like, you know, trending
They're
right
putting
now
together.
with them being the
Yeah.
family, this and that, whatever. People saying they're not really married and all the other stuff, whatever. ASAP ain't going nowhere. He ain't going nowhere. Married or not, he ain't going nowhere, right?
He just did that interview with Jason Lee that I haven't watched, but I've been seeing clips
Huh?
of it. His interview talking about
Yep.
their
Yes, he
relationship and stuff
did.
like that. His ass ain't going nowhere.
Listen, and so what pissed me off is, as happy as they are, beautiful family, they are in their own little world, in their own little bubble. I know y'all want music from her. You know, whatever he did music wise, he ain't really pressed about the numbers or stats of what y'all be trying to talk about, because he ain't, you know, in the limelight of hip hop right now or this and that, whatever. They are happy.
Mm-hmm.
They are happy together. What pissed me off is when somebody said, "Yeah, she got some mileage on her, this and this and that, whatever." First of all, her mileage, like she's a fucking car, like for real, like she's a. I'm sorry, do you hear these kids?
Is that outside?
Yeah, my window
I
is
was
right here. I'm like,
I
damn,
was
they got them here. I
I was
want to yell
again.
outside, like, get off my grass.
No, you could. I was sitting here like, did she turn the TV on?
No,
No,
it's
go
kids
ahead.
with
No,
my
go ahead.
window. But no, my thing that pisses me off is like how quick people are to basically dehumanize individuals
Mm-hmm.
just for their comfort and their perspective of things.
Yep.
Oh, she got a couple miles on her. First of all, she ain't thinking about you, ain't thought about you, and if y'all was in the same room, you couldn't even talk to her. But you're so quick to
To
sit there
share
and
your opinion
insult
on them.
somebody who would never
Yeah.
even acknowledge your
Yep.
existence. What is wrong
And
with you? Because all that
even if
does
you
is
were
show
in a
me
room
more
with her,
about you.
you would shit your pants if you was in a room with her and had the opportunity to actually go talk to her. You would shit your pants
And not a
and go.
motherfucker would
Yeah.
turn down any of these girls. I don't care what nobody say. I wouldn't
They
even
wouldn't
touch. I
turn.
wouldn't care. Yes, you would.
I'm
Yes, you
with
would.
I'm with you 1,000% on that. The more the well, first and foremost, there's a lot of bots online that it's just people saying stuff. But for the real people who be online saying a lot of that dumb shit, well, I wouldn't do this, and I'm like, the fuck you wouldn't. Get the hell out of here.
What?
Yes, you would. Line them up and name them all. Yes, you would. Y'all. Oh, you would talk about Rihanna? You would. Meg Thee Stallion? Y'all hate her? Yeah, you would. Yeah, you would.
And I hate this so much. Like that black woman. This is okay. So I'm gonna just say this right now. White flag. White flag. Right.
I mean, it's really a pillow, but I get you. I follow though. I
I'm
follow.
really over the gender war conversation. I really am.
It's tiring. It's tiring.
I only say this because I hate the Jersey mentality that some men have with other men's issues. Like, you really complain about things that you have never experienced firsthand and probably wouldn't because you are not that guy.
Mm-hmm.
But you are so invested because of the fact that you are a man that you somehow have this irrational fear that things that would never happen to you might happen, and so you have to speak on it. You have to be, such a pioneer. Like, chill, bro.
Yeah.
Like, and I
No,
hate losing
yeah.
the past because, like,
Yeah.
and all honestly, growing up, and I don't know everybody. I haven't been privy to everybody. I don't know everybody's story. You know what I'm saying? By all means, if you are a good man and you have not been done right by women, I apologize for your experience. I really, really do wholeheartedly.
Hmm.
I pray that the woman that's for you find you and you live happily ever ever. I promise you on everything I do. However, the guys that I have grew up with, because I was a tomboy, still a tomboy. I have more male friends than I have female friends. I've just started getting these female friends as an adult. And the things that I've heard guys talk about and they do, don't get me wrong. I know some shit is just barbershop talk. You ain't never had three women at the same time. But you gonna say it because you're in front of the guys. Don't get me wrong. I take a lot of these stories with a grain of salt. But the way in which you discuss with females at a young age and then complain about them on the back end, knowing that you was doing these girls wrong, y'all was lying, y'all was cheating, y'all was taking them up through there, you was talking to one in the daytime, this and that, whatever, and now you're complaining about your little feelings being hurt. That's one thing that pisses me off because I know that there's not too many upstanding guys who have never did anything wrong by a female that's complaining about how they've been done by a female. That's why I can't seem to give that grace or that empathy for them. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
However, not my business. Not my business. My thing is, I wish we get back to seeing people as the humans that they are versus the trauma we haven't healed from.
Well,
Because
that's not
looking
gonna
at the
happen
female
until.
struggle trying to get her car out of an intersection that stopped and everybody just driving past her would have not been the same case back in the day. Somebody would have helped her out. But because black women are seen as all the sexy rears of the world, that you would judge first before you validate assisting them. That doesn't make sense to me. It just doesn't. And I hate that because to me, any stranger that I don't know is somebody's son, somebody's father, somebody cares about this individual. They are human. So I wish we get back to seeing people as humans versus our unhealed trauma.
Well, that's not gonna happen until people actually heal themselves. I mean, honestly, it's just like you said, they're unhealed trauma. It's not gonna happen until people be like, you know what, I gotta take care of myself. So because it's tiring to see it almost goes back to the earlier point about the podcast thing where people, where the people who are on, quote unquote,
Mm-hmm.
on the
Mm-hmm.
networks and stuff, they say, well, we want to hear the same things. We don't want to hear y'all talk about the same things. And then you see the clips that pop up online from these shows that are on these networks, and these clips are just the clickbait stuff, the same things that's just the overused stuff all the time. Um, that's not even really being creative, because I guess we can kind of start wrapping it up because I wanted to kind of finish it off with something lighter. But when you talk about gender wars and stuff, people talk about, like, one of the things I see all the time is people making people's plates and so. How many times have you heard something like that about that argument? Do you make your man's plate? Do you do this? Do you do that? And all those types of things or whatever. And I had put it in my phone because I saw it recently, not because I want to do the same thing or should you do it, because I don't give a fuck about who does it. My thought process on it was, that I want to ask you is, do you think it's just a generational thing with that? Forget should you make it or should you not. I really don't care about any of that stuff. Again, that's the clickbait stuff that they'll post it. That's what they do on their shows because they don't have the deeper substance or anything. And not that my question has any deeper anyway, but still, do you think it's just a generational thing? Because I don't know. I still consider myself to be pretty old school, and I don't care who makes my plate. I don't care because I have hands and legs and a brain. You know what I'm saying? I've never once, from anybody I've dated in my past to my current wife right now, and I'm saying current like I have been married before, but still, I've never once looked at it like I'm gonna sit here and you got to go make my plate to prove that you love me and something like that. I get that some women are old school and they'll be like, you know what, I cooked, I'm gonna make the plate and I'm gonna hand it to you. I don't care if you do it either way. Technically, I would prefer I just make my own plate because I know what I got to taste for, how much I want, how
Mm-hmm.
hungry I
Mm-hmm.
am. All of those things matter to me more than you making me a fucking plate. And I think that's the. Again, my question to you is: do you think it's just a generational thing that even, and then now it's just being discussed amongst younger people for whatever reason? I don't know, because why are you discussing making a plate and whatever else when, you know, all the other old school things that a wife would do or something like that you don't want to do. So what's the point of arguing about this one little older thing? So do you think it's generational, the whole thing? Would you do it for someone, or do you even think about it?
So I'll be honest with you. I think that you took off the jersey. Like, how one man is treated doesn't have to be your blueprint for how you're treated. Because again, he might like getting his ass ate. You don't want Corley touching your cheek. You know what I'm saying? Like, what you value is what you value. That's your personal preference. And I think the issue is that we have become so splintered as a culture that these conversations now have to be on the internet, because there's no more sitting on the porch with the elders and kind of getting those nuggets and those gems of how to conduct yourself, whatever. Because I find that our economy doesn't allow for these conversations to be had in the household. So guess what? They're on your phone. We have come to that point right now, unfortunately. And then even with like stuff on the news, like, unfortunately, as a society, we have to raise our value systems to say what we want and we don't want to take in to our, consciousness. And in all honesty, because they did a study back in the day where the news reported for one whole day all good shit. Was everything was positive, everything was good. They had one episode. Do you know those ratings tanked until they start talking about all the bad shit? So
Negativity
we
sells.
actually control the things that people put out, because it is supply and demand as in some exchanges. You know what I'm saying? So we have to want better to get better from our people. Because once we start changing the narrative and start talking more positive about certain things, whatever, that's when we start having better conversations that's more edifying to us versus just junk food. It's almost like a diet when it comes down to what you take into your body with these conversations and this social media stuff, whatever. Like, people have a poor diet for information. They rather watch stuff like Love and Hip Hop versus the Cosbys, or Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, or Family Matters, or things that had teachable life moments. They want to see the ratchet stuff. They do. They do. Let's be for real. They want to see that stuff. That's why it's there. So for me, to get back to your question, I'm both. Because at one point, I did learn a good lesson. So I was staying with my sister, and her fiance at the time, before they had got married, me and him had got off at the same time or whatever. And so he had literally hand cut, cooked, and served me 5 plates of fresh fries. I love fresh homemade fries. Like, from the potato to the grease to my plate. They're the best fucking French fries. I don't care what nobody say. And he's a chef. He's a chef. So we just talking, he cooking, we talking. You want some more? He make me some more. You want some more? He makes, and he is literally hand cutting, cooking, and serving me these plates. I'm just sitting at the table eating while he's in the kitchen doing all this stuff. The next day, I say, I'm gonna make breakfast. So he's a chef. I'm not. I take way longer than, a normal breakfast would take, because I'm cooking corned beef hash, I'm cooking eggs, I'm doing a whole little spread, right? But it takes me hours to cook this breakfast. Once I'm done with the breakfast, I say, all right, y'all can go make y'all plates. Do you know he got up, cussed my sister out, and left? And then I come back because I didn't make his plate and serve him. We literally had a serious falling out behind that. But that's one of his non-negotiables. And respectfully, I can do that for him, because guess what he did for me? So when I had that example happen to me, I said, bet, never happen again. So when I cook, I serve everybody's plate, unless you want to make your own plate.
Well, you don't have to make a plate for me.
I'm
saying you don't have to ever make a plate for
no,
me.
I understand. No, ever. I understand.
I'm just saying, like you really don't like nobody.
But again, he's a chef, and he does it every holiday. We have Thanksgiving and Christmas over their house. Every Thanksgiving and Christmas, he is making my plate and bringing it to me.
So it's either generational. It's either generational or like you said, or it's like your thing. It's like what you're saying. Then it's your thing. Older people did it because that's what older people did. I know. I remember being a kid. My mom, she She made all of our plates. You know, when we were
Yes.
younger, as we got older, yeah, we could just go in the kitchen and put what we wanted on the plate. But we were younger, yeah, she made my dad's plate. She made all of us, me and my brother's plates. You know, she made everyone sit down and eat, whatever. I just felt that could be wasteful. Maybe I ain't that
I feel like
hungry.
that's preference. I feel like that's preference because don't get me wrong. I'll ask, hey, do you want me to make your plate? And if you say yes, I'll make it. If you say no, okay. But is
I
that
like that
gonna make
better.
or break anything?
I like that better. Ask. Like ask, hey,
Yes.
you want me to do it? Like, cause
Yes.
it's just, but I just feel like for the people who gonna demand it, it's your right, it's your preference.
Or the people who try
It
to
ain't that
test you
deep
with it.
though.
I hate that. People who try to test you with that shit. Let me see if she gonna make my plate.
Yeah, I don't care about that. We could be wherever
Like
we at.
that's weird to me. If you want something, just say it. Like my therapist told me, do not allow people to learn you. They're gonna get it wrong. You have to teach people how to treat you.
That makes sense.
And
Yeah,
that's
that
what we
makes
don't
sense.
want to do. And on top of that, we teach people, excuse me, from a level of consequence, if that makes sense. So, like, you will teach somebody how to do something for you or not do something for you based on how triggering or how traumatic that exchange is for you, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm pretty sure for a lot of people prior to these conversations never even thought about somebody making their plate or not making their plate. If it happened, cool. If it didn't, cool. That wasn't even a thing. But what drives me crazy also is the fact that no matter how a woman packages and presents herself, what's crazy to me is that as a woman, and again, I'm not trying to go back to the gender war shit, but as a woman, I'm supposed to also allow you to cheat on me. And also understand that at any point in time, this man don't feel like being committed to me anymore. He just wake up and leave. So all the things in which I try to be a good person with, like, is optional, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like, and I hate to say this though, I feel like at this point, a lot of females are at a point where they don't give a fuck. Like they just don't. I've been that good girl. I've done this. I've done that. It wasn't appreciated. So now I'm gonna do whatever the fuck I want to do. And that's exactly where a lot of females are right now. Like, say what you want, feel how you want about it, or whatever. They're still gonna do whatever they want to do because they've done the people pleasing. They've done all of the cookie cutter societal behaviors and gestures and this and that, whatever. And it's been optional or it's been disrespected. So it's only so much you're gonna get out of some individuals, again, based on how far they have healed as individuals. So either you could teach somebody how to treat you, and there's no, everybody's always going to be a work in progress. Everybody. And wherever your patience level is with it, that's where everything's going to unfold for you. Because certain things, like in marriages, women have stayed with their husband for hours, been gone. So again, it's your individual preference. Shoot, I got pissed off at my boyfriend because he ain't put his brush pot on his toothbrush. Stop putting your raw ass toothbrush on my fucking sink, nigga.
Mm-hmm.
But again, that's me. That's just triggering
me. Yeah. No, I get it. All right, I'm
But
gonna ask you one last question. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
yeah, no, I'm saying, but I mean, I think it's individual. I think we need to get back to it being okay. Like if we are out and like, say for example, all the gatherings we had up at the pie, right? We had Playboy's birthday after party at the pie, whatever. This and that. We had food, this and that, whatever. I'm not going to sit up there and be upset with my significant other because you did something for Corlicia that I feel like is a kind gesture that ain't being done for me.
Mm-hmm.
Like I feel like we need to be focused on us, and I feel like the more we focus on us and what we like, we can actually enjoy more life and be joyous and happy instead of just always being on fucking guard and on surveillance about what everybody else is doing. Like that shit is crazy. Like it ain't exhausting to nobody else, just me. Because I don't care, and I wish that more men would not be so hung up on how everybody else views their happy and just be happy. If that girl with her fronts missing makes you happy, lock her down. She makes you happy. Because guess what? This girl that got her fronts ain't gonna do the same thing that this girl doing.
Yeah,
but you like the look. You like the look. And that's another thing like about men. Like, I wish y'all would stop being worried about how other men view your significant other and just be happy with that individual. If she was a hoe back in the day, so the fuck what? Because you like that shit now. You like all that she learned now. You enjoying the fruits of her labor from back in the day now. And if she make you happy and she really about you, take it. Who
Yeah.
cares? Who cares? Somebody has always been somebody else's ex. Ain't nobody out here fresh. Just saying.
Yeah, you're right about that one. All right. So I don't know if I can keep this one short. I do. I had this in the phone. You mentioned the elders earlier, um, and I actually had this in my phone. Why don't we listen to our elders anymore? Do you think this is going to be a short one or whatever that we can do it within about 10
Ooh,
minutes, maybe
baby,
5 or 10 minutes?
listen,
Because
listen.
and
We
I'm
can
and,
we can
and
do
I'm
it. We
getting
can
this
do it.
because I've um I don't listen to her pod a lot or watch it on YouTube, but Kiki Palmer has been on a little bit of a Hall of Fame run because she had Oprah on, and Oprah don't sit down with nobody.
Ooh, okay.
And then she had I just got done with the Whoopi Goldberg one, and that's another one that ain't just sitting down with people. And as I was watching them, and people could say with that, I know Oprah is one of the people that some black people love to hate at times, but these are people who are in their 60s and 70s and they're elders, and you look at somebody like them, or even the people in our family sometimes, and it's like I feel like I know as when we're younger people never want to listen to adults. I have a teenager in my home who's 15, and when I talk to him about stuff, I'm like, "Yo, I know you think we don't know
Yeah.
nothing, knowing that we know a bunch of shit." But when you're a kid, you don't think that they know anything, and then you get older, you be looking like, "Oh, these motherfuckers actually wasn't wrong. They wasn't lying." But there are adults who don't want to listen to elders. And I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
why don't we listen to our elders anymore? Like, and like I watch these podcasts sometimes, and I'll be putting little stuff in there. They'll say something that just be like a quote, and I'm like, God damn, that shit is dope. That's like a dope point of view or something.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
I just be
yeah.
sitting there and I'd be sitting there wondering like, why is it such a segment of people who just shit on people who are older, who feel like every time they say something about you or something that they've been through or something that could probably help you, it's just like you don't know what you're talking about. It's like why are you still stuck in this teenage mindset of things that you don't know anything about what I'm going through? I tell this 15-year-old in the house all the time, like, bruh, you can think what you want to think about me. I have done it all. I don't give a fuck what you think about me being this 45-year-old glasses wearing, calm ass, mostly calm ass motherfucker
I'm glad you said it.
around here or whatever, whatever. Dad joking, whatever you want to say about somebody that's my age, whatever you want to put on me. I have done a lot of shit in my life. Point blank, period. I'm a wealth of knowledge when it comes to a
Mm-hmm.
lot of different
Mm-hmm.
things. And I was telling them all the time, like, yo, you got questions about anything, just come talk to me. I'm just sitting in the basement watching TV, watching the game. But why don't that's separate. But why don't people who could be mid 30s or something like that? Why do people look at these elders now and just be like, you know what? Nah, you old. Is it the social media influence of stuff and the internet and the way we look at people? I don't know. But these people have so much valuable insight and information. They could just say one time, yeah, that happened to me before, and that happened because I did X, Y, and Z. And if I just wouldn't have did that, I would have avoided the whole situation. Or because I did X, Y, and Z, my life went this way. And so why are so many people living in this space of not listening to their elders?
Because to take in information from certain people, you would have to be vulnerable enough to not feel like you're gonna be judged.
Or
Again,
admit that you don't know it all.
hung up. People are more hung up on the look versus the actuality. And I think a lot of it has to do with the without a confession, there's no conviction complex as well. Because if I don't admit to needing this information, you can't draw the conclusion that I'm in a predicament. And a lot of kids fear correction versus just having that knowledge. But again, I go back to our economy. The economy does not allow for just simple preventative conversations. And a lot of times kids get hit with this information once they're already in the thick of it. So now you're I have to correct something within my resources and my means that could have been prevented had you just told me what was going on. So not
Okay.
only do I have to correct it, now I have to kind of scold you with it too because, dude, like, what are you doing? And kids fear the correction more than just like listening to somebody on their phone to where they can't be judged.
Well,
And
also, well, hold on.
go ahead.
Also, outside of just the kids, I'm talking about like
Oh,
even adults too.
adults too,
Yeah, yeah.
adults too. Because you know what pisses me
Okay.
off the most? What pisses me off the most is, to a certain degree, the whole complex of what goes on in this house stays in this house. That used to work when all of the family lived in said house. However, again, we are so splintered due to the economy that guess what? You actually need some people outside of your house to help you. But
Mm-hmm.
because you feel as there is going to be judgment before solution, you're not going to say anything. So a lot of these single parents struggle in silence because they don't want the ridicule of not being sufficient. Because again, we are all hung up on the look versus the actuality of it.
Hmm.
And for example, like I had to humble myself and ask like my peers in certain situations for help because I just got evicted. I'm homeless. Hey, my mom had a stroke, whatever. I'm up here climbing over the seat to get in the car because the door don't work and I got to put my mom's, wheelchair in the trunk and we pulling up or whatever. And, she got to drop me back off at the hotel because I don't have no house. You know what I'm saying? Like, but we're so fearful of judgment that again we don't value the information more than we value being like safe, if that makes sense. When people feel safe is when they could really get the most benefit out of their social exchanges, when they feel safe. And again, like I said, if we get back to our humanity and keep the main thing and start helping people versus just judging them, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And not
Mm-hmm.
being so quick to put everybody on stage and perform. Very performative living right now, very performative, because even some of the
Yeah, definitely
kind
that.
gestures
Yeah.
that people do is not rooted in just being a good gesture. They're rooted in control. And I hate that about people. I hate that about people. Let the kind gesture be the kind gesture. What we always say, take the meat, leave the bones. Don't be so invested in the application sometimes and just focus on giving the knowledge. That's why, again, we have to make, like, and think about it. These conversations, another kid can be looking at 2 weeks from now and get the meat that they're looking for out of this conversation because their parents are too busy keeping a roof over their head and food on the table that they can't have these conversations with them. And then it's so personal. And then a lot of people judge them. I'm sorry. A lot of people judge the messenger before getting the message. Because I will be honest with you. If I don't
I
want to
think that's the
live your
biggest problem.
life, if I don't want what you have, I don't know how much of your information I'm gonna take. But at the same
Yeah.
time, even a homeless man can tell you what not to do.
Yeah. I think that's the biggest problem. You look at people and be like, and you try to judge where they are at in life and try to determine if you feel like that's where you want to be. And if you don't feel
Mm-hmm.
like that's where you want to be, then you'll be
Yeah,
like,
it's a
ah,
combination
well,
of
no,
things.
I'm I'm,
Yeah.
I'm not listening to you.
Mm-hmm. And then, honestly, sometimes it can come off a little bit. Parenting in all forms, let's be for real. Parenting is always going to be hypocritical. It is. And it's had to be that way because guess what? I don't want you to do the things I did. I don't want you to make the mistakes that I made. So, yeah, I'm going to tell you not to do certain things. You know what I'm saying? Because I know how that road is gonna go for you. But at the same time, it's also about how we deliver certain things and when we deliver certain things. Like, for example, my dad never really raised us off a no. If he seen that we was interested in doing something, he would educate us first and then suggest that we do this or we don't do that. And so as the information came and I start to see like, well, his suggestions kind of be like on point. I never really got curious about it because he educated me. It wasn't just no. A lot of times you have to give more information past the simplicity of direction, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Because they're going to come not just at the start of that situation, sometimes it may see them in the middle of it to where they have bypassed the option of engaging and they're already in the thick of it. So they need to know how to pivot in the situation. So you have to kind of give them everything, not just the thing. Like my dad always said all the time, love don't hurt. Now physically, mentally, emotionally, if it hurt, it ain't love. That was my talk on love, relationships. And the other part was find a man that give you more than just some dick. My dad knew I was gonna eventually have sex, but you need to have more than just sex. But he never told me the more. Like, he needs to do this for you. He needs to do that for you. Like, okay, God, Dad, I'm finding a guy who is giving me more than just some dick. He actually bought me a drink. Is he qualified? No. So sometimes you got to give all of that. Like, everybody always say, I'm going to give my child the world. I'm going to give. Give the lesson that taught you that as well. Because guess what? If they can't come from what you have given them, they got to get it on their own. They need to know how to do that shit. And that's another thing that's handicapping these kids too. They're given everything. So you have white privilege and black entitlement. And I think black entitlement is worse. Okay, I'm done.
All right. We'll try to dive into that one a little bit more on the next one.
Shoot, I feel like right now we can split this up to a part 1, part 2. You can put it out for 2 weeks for real.
Yeah, damn near could. But yeah, we'll try to wrap it here because I know it's pushing 7 and I ain't even started to cook dinner yet. So
yeah, you got to go up and be the family man.
Yeah. It's crazy when you think about that because when you look back a few years, where it's like we could have been potting until whatever time, and now I'll come home and just
how many times we had like an after dark type of conversation?
Yeah. I'll stop and grab me some McDonald's on the way home, and that's that. But again, Sunday I'm cooking, so let me go ahead and take care of that. But no, it's been a good converation.
Absolutely,
We'll pop back into it if you don't have a show next Sunday, so we can pop back into it next Sunday, get an episode in, and then I'll also we'll see what's going on. But all right, so give them. Well, thank you for pulling up. Well, not pull up, but thanks. Making sure we tell people thank you for tuning in. But
absolutely, again, thank you.
Very, very, very good conversation this week. Let the people know where they can find you, what you got going on, shows and things like that. Give them one more wrap up on it.
So, Eulise Dickerson on every social media platform. Eulise Too Funny on TikTok. I have a show this Friday in Garfield at Miss O's Cafe. With Sean Showtime, he's actually bringing Comicville up to Cleveland. It's an Atlanta-based kind of production. And we have them coming up. We have some people from Detroit, and I want to say Chicago. I'm not exactly sure. I got to look at it because I just got added to the lineup. Then next Thursday, I'll be at Superior Foe with Ramon Rivas. And, like I said, just follow me on my Instagram. It's public, and I post everything on there. So until then, y'all stay blessed, healthy, and wealthy per usual.
All right. And then, stay tuned to the DMST pages, our YouTube and things like that, our YouTube and our IG more specifically than any of the other ones. So hopefully you'll see a little extra coming from DMST in the next coming weeks. And then personally for me, like I say all the time, I still have my Tuesday nights. I still have my R&B nights at Bar 1 up on Green Road.
Dope,
and then I also have
dope night too.
And also have the just the Friday nights at Johnny Malloy's on Mayfield. So pull up anytime y'all are out and just you ain't got to stay long, but just come in, have a drink or two, and chill for a little bit, and then head on out. But the support is always appreciated. So that's it for me. We will catch y'all again next Sunday. We'll record again, and then we'll have another show out. So this show will be out on Tuesday morning, so we'll have another show out next Tuesday as long as we still record. And as I say every single week, it may be cloudy today, but the sun will come out tomorrow. And as long as you are here under the sun, live your life to the best of your motherfucking ability. I am DJ Brainstorm for you on all social media. That is DJ Brainstorm, the number 4, the letter.
You.
And we out of here, y'all. We'll see y'all next week. Peace.